for the Harmonic Bronze Spring Concert, and the theme is Passport. And the stage is set, the bells are ready, and there's a packed room in the High Desert Multipurpose Room of parents and friends and community members. Mr. Rowland is getting ready.
Truly a privilege and an honor to share with you this evening the hard work and efforts that the musicians have been working on. I'd like to explain a couple things before we get started. First of all, this is a celebration especially for the 6th grade members of the Harmonic Bronze family and their families. So, first off, 6th graders, will you just stand real quick so we can acknowledge where you are? Give them a big welcome. They are our newest members and the future of the program, and we are so excited to welcome them and their families to the Harmonic Bronze family. There's also some very distinguished guests in the audience that I'd like to start off just to give a quick introduction to. First off, my mom. Mom, raise your hand. It's been a really long time since my mom has been able to attend a handbell concert. These are kind of her grandchildren. She hears about them, she watches them. I never gave her grandchildren of her own, but she's had hundreds of musical grandchildren over the years. And I'm so excited that my mom can share the concert with us this evening as well. In addition, my sister and her husband are here. Raise your hand, Debbie. Debbie is a former teacher that just retired. And she's been making the drive from Rosebud to be part of the adult group, which was such a huge honor to have my sister learn and be a part of my handbell family as well. Also in the audience this evening are 2 of our amazing local reporters. We have Miss Val DeGraw, raise your hand. Val is a reporter at the Country Journal, and for decades, she and Lillian and her crew have chronicled our history. Furthermore, another wonderful representative in the legacy of chronicling our history is Tracy Costin over there with the Acton Agua Dulce News. So again, ladies, thank you so much.
Thank you.
I'm sure you have a million places to be this evening, but it means the world that you came out to kind of share the night with us. Also in the audience, did Mr. King arrive? Where is he? Mr. King, back there, could you stand real quick, Mr. King? Mr. King, for those of you who don't know, is our school superintendent. He drove a really long distance to come out and share his trumpet expertise with the group. And he brought his wife and his daughter from college. So let's give them a warm welcome. We also have High Desert School principal in the audience. Where's Dr. Giselle Bice? Please welcome Dr. Bice to the audience and her son. Dr. Bice has been so gracious in always allowing us a room to practice in here at High Desert. Even when we added the 5th grade and there was the opportunity to use that room for a classroom, she made it a priority to keep us housed here at school. And that was such a priceless gift that she gave the group. Off to my right, if you haven't recognized, we have the legendary mentor and former principal of Meadowlark, Acton, Agua Dulce, you name it, Miss Margaret Gonder. And her husband is here, John Odell. Margaret, for those of you who don't know, has been this legendary mentor to so many teachers here in the Acton Agua Dulce Unified School District. As a brand new teacher, I was very fortunate and blessed to have her kind of guide me through this crazy world of education. To this day, I still hear her voice echoing in my ears, things to say, things to do. She kind of emulated this amazing work ethic that all of her teachers under her aspired to be like. So when I called and asked her if she'd be willing to host for us, Again, she lives in Pasadena, and she was willing to make the drive and be a part of tonight's program. So again, super huge honor to have Ms. Margaret Gonder be our narrator and hostess. Now, Mrs. Gonder is going to be narrating while the students are setting up between songs. She's kind of here as a beautiful distraction because it takes so long to set up each song. Now, on this theme this night, in case you can't tell, it's world geography and traveling through the world with music. So Ms. Gonder is going to be taking us on a tour around the world, and on your seats, where it should have been these passports and passport stamps. If you did not get a glue stick, I have tons over here, and if you did not get a passport, I have extras over here as well. But what she will be asking you to do is, as she's talking about the place that we're going to visit, she'll say, prepare your passport, or something in that gist, which means find the passport stamp that goes with the country that we're going to visit. Now, those of you who are high achievers, please, there is no extra credit for doing the whole booklet before we begin. So, please just wait for the boarding call so that it all makes sense in the master plan here. And then lastly, I know a lot of you probably have 100 things going through your mind, of things to do and places to be and tasks to get done. And I would just ask that you be present for the next couple of hours. Just escape from all the stresses of life. Admire the accomplishments of these amazing young ladies and young men who have committed many, many years to music for no credit, for nothing but the enjoyment of teamwork and camaraderie. And just be present with them. Get lost in the music, get lost in this landscape of the world that we're going to travel through, and just please be present. Get your mind off of whatever is stressing you out. And if there's anyone else in the audience that I should have introduced that I forgot, I sincerely apologize. I tried to keep an eye on the door of anyone else that works for our school or in the administrative level, so if I missed one, I'm so sorry. Come on in, folks. Let's get started. Oh, here's someone right here. We have Mr. Mike Fox, school board member. Megan Fisher. I don't even know where to begin. One of the all-time amazing handbell players, walking in with Mrs. Millar, High Desert School teacher. Who else is coming in? Did you get your cards? Great. Okay, I will give the microphone over to Mrs. Margaret Gonder.
Good evening, parents, grandparents, and friends. We are delighted that you could join us this evening. My name is Margaret Gonder-Odell, and John Odell is my husband. If he would stand up, there he is. Professor Odell, thank you very much. I have been retired from this district for over 10 years, but I've always enjoyed coming back and seeing all of you. It's wonderful to be back here tonight for this performance. My husband and I grew up in San Antonio, Texas. My family owns a ranch in South Texas, which reminds me of this area so much. That's one reason I fell in love with it. I needed many of my Texas skills, actually, to be a principal in Acton and Agua Dulce. I had to safely capture or kill rattlesnakes many times, literally herd cattle, chase horses that were runaways onto our playground twice, and get them off the playground without losing any kindergartners. And I am delighted to be here tonight with Mr. Rowland and his bell choir. I was so sad when I first started in the district because there wasn't a real music program. There wasn't money for a real music program. But over the years, a music program has been developed. And Mr. Rowland is a big part of that. And I congratulate him for his perseverance, and I congratulate all of the students for their hard work and beautiful music. Thank you. Destination, Greenland. Ladies and gentlemen, please locate your Greenland passport stamp because it's time to begin our music travel adventure. Our first stop is Greenland, the world's biggest island, which translates to land of people. A bit ironic since fewer than 100,000 people actually call Greenland home. 85% of the country in winter. Destination, Italy.
Always. And I just want to take a moment to also introduce Ken Fallsgraf, another board member who's sitting in the back, who's our board clerk. We have a big hand for Mr. Fallsgraf. I think that's it. We have Mr. Fox, Mr. Fallsgraf here. Did we miss any other board members that are hiding out? What brought me to Acton, I will say. Well, my daughter asked me, she said, "You drive this drive every day, Dad?" And she, because we drove out tonight from Ranch Cucamonga where we live, and it's 75 miles each way. But I'm truly happy to come out every day. And what drew me here was the people. The people, and I stayed the weekend here during the course of my interview, and I intentionally stayed at an Airbnb to kind of get a feel for the town. And I purposely ate at the 49ers and Don Chado's and tried to talk to people without them knowing what I was doing here and asked them what they thought about our schools. And I got honest answers, but it was my draw to what brought me here. So thank you so much for that question.
Thank you for that answer. Question number 2. You often speak of your growth mindset, philosophy of life, and education. Could you please share with the audience what growth mindset means and how it affects how you choose to lead our school district?
So tonight's a perfect example of growth mindset. It's one of the reasons that I choose to do things like this with our students, because I'm not compensated for my musical abilities, please note that. And, but, if you have a growth mindset, we talk to our students about working hard and perseverance and resilience and having grit and fortitude and tenacity. If we're going to ask our students to do that, then I think we owe it to them to do the same and role model those things. And so when Mr. Rowland gave me this piece of music to look at and to join the students, I will say that it was above my current level, since I've shared before that I really haven't played since college, which is quite some time. But again, that would be an example of growth mindset. A fixed mindset would be, I'm too busy, I haven't played my trumpet in a long time, this is too hard. So those sorts of things would be an idea of a fixed mindset.
Thank you. Very interesting. Question number 3. Many of us had no idea you played the trumpet. Can you please share a little bit with us about your musical background?
I must owe it all to public school teachers. I never had a private lesson. I learned in the 4th grade. My uncle, who passed away at a very young age, gave me a trumpet. Gave it to our family, and I picked it up and started playing. But the public school teachers is where I learned in 4th grade all the way through the 2nd year of college. And I went through and became a drum major in high school, assistant drum major. And then when I went on to play in college, it was just a great thing to have. And I've always kept it with me since then. And just thinking about, I was listening to you play tonight, of course, but then practicing with you too. I don't know if you thought about it, the connection between brain research and musical or anything creative arts really does something for us that they're now noting in research. So that's way off question number 3. I don't want to get rated on these, but anyhow, thank you so much. I don't want to over chat here.
Okay, I think you just answered question number 3 about your musical background, and we appreciate that. Thank you very much. And now the Friday group, along with very special guest trumpet soloist, Mr. Larry King, will perform a song entitled Glorious Spirit.
Do you want the B flat?
No, we'll be close enough.
Okay.
There you go.
Ready? Yep. Not too fast. Up. 1 and 2 and ready and play and.
Maria doubles as a custodian during the day, a parent, a wonderful mother, and helping us out here tonight. But I'm not sure who else we have from the PTSO, but can we just give them a hand for all of their help?
That was fantastic. I'm glad no one asked me to play my trumpet tonight that I haven't played since I was in high school. Fantastic. Now, we have time for an intermission. I understand that there is cake to be served, but I'm not sure where. In the back. Oh, the cake is in. It was my pleasure to be here. I love this community. I love being with you. I wish I lived closer, but I don't. You are a wonderful, supportive community, and that's what kept me coming back here. Thank you for being you. Larry Rowland, many years ago, had a vision. You have seen his vision tonight. He has worked so hard and so dedicated, and the students have been beneficiaries, but I believe the whole community have been beneficiaries of his focus, his commitment, his energy, and his vision. Thank you, Mr. Rowland.